Now, some deep thoughts with Dukey.
You know, art, it's all about perspective, ideas, and self-expression. I've seen a lot of people in the comments saying things like they can't do what I do, or they don't think they'll be able to. You know what? I didn't even know that I could do this kind of stuff. I just did it. I just started trying. I'm tearing up. So many people out there, it could be you, has an ability that you're not even aware of. That's what it's about. It's an adventure, it's self-exploration, and it's one of the most gratifying things that you can do. So I want to encourage you all to just try new things. The sun has come out.
And thus concludes Deep Thoughts with Dukey. And now, more Deep Thoughts with Dukey.
Okay, I made this video to show people, all of you, that you don't need some crazy special materials to make art. You can use whatever you have available to you, like rocks or sticks or broken pieces of pottery. You don't need fancy wood or paints or anything like that. I mean, all the paints I use, I got at like the dollar store, and almost all of the wood that I use, I've gotten from like the home improvement store. I mean, the cheap stuff, it's like $3 a board. It doesn't have to be any special material. You are the one that will make it special. What I'm really trying to say is, I get the window from a glass, he must get the window from a glass. I get the step, he must get the step. I get the clock radio, he cannot afford. Great success.
And thus concludes Deep Thoughts with Dukey. And now more Deep Thoughts with Dukey.
Okay, I just wanted to kind of touch on something recently that I've been thinking about, and that's negativity online regarding your art. So, if you're making art, don't do it for other people, do it for yourself. Do it as a form of self-expression. You know, art should be shared and enjoyed by everybody, but their tastes are gonna differ from yours, and everyone has different opinions, but don't let it bother you. You know, I've noticed... Dadgum. Most of the feedback I get is very positive, like overwhelmingly positive, but I do occasionally see some, you know, negative people talking about me wasting materials, or it's not whatever, it just doesn't fit their taste. Ultimately, I'm doing this for me, and if people choose to enjoy it, then that's amazing, but, you know, just don't let people discourage you in continuing to do what you love. Don't worry about what other people think, is what I'm trying to say. And on that note, love me, please, please love me. So let's go back to the shop.
And thus concludes Deep Thoughts with Dukey. And now even more Deep Thoughts with Dukey.
Okay, another thing that I've been thinking about recently is expanding into new mediums. If you feel like you're stuck in a rut with just drawing or sculpting with clay or wood carving or whatever, don't be afraid to try new mediums, try new things involving art. Most of what I do is the first time I've ever done it. I'd never carved a rock until this channel. I'd never sculpted with aluminum foil. I mean, I'd done wood carving and clay, but that's what's so fun about art, is venturing into new mediums and seeing if you're any good at it. I mean, just give it a shout. I think you might surprise yourself. Just don't be afraid to try something new. Go outside your comfort zone and explore art and all that it has to offer. Okay, enough of this. Ouch.
And thus concludes Deep Thoughts with Dukey.
Another thing that I guess you could call sort of a Deep Thoughts with Dukey is people will tend to gravitate towards people who are confident. You can sense a confidence about people. I'm not talking about being prideful or egotistical, but just having a confidence in yourself, not having to rely on the acceptance of your peers or other people. Just being happy in your own skin and who you are. I've learned to just not really care. Also being respectful of other people's considerations and feelings. You know, if you go out in public and act like a total douche, then yeah, that's just not cool either. That's all I pretty much have to say on that. Is just be happy who you are. Don't care what other people think. Love yourself, dadgummit.
And now, another Deep Thoughts with Dukey.
Today, I've been thinking a lot about following your dreams. Up until recently, I was a truck driver. I was gone from my family. I was miserable at doing it. I mean, it's a great job, but I felt like I was meant to do something more to use the talents that I was given to better the world in some way. I knew I wanted to be an artist. I knew I wanted to inspire people. I just worked really hard at it. Just decided to make YouTube a priority and kept posting videos, kept putting out content. It may not have been on any kind of a schedule. It still really isn't. Sorry. But I never gave up on it. And that's what I'm really getting at is don't give up on your dreams, even though they may seem far-fetched. I mean, be realistic and always have a backup plan in case that falls through, but don't give up on the things that give you joy and help you express yourself. You know, I didn't give up on my dream, and now, I mean, it's incredible how big and how fast this channel has gotten and how much love I get from you guys. It's incredible. I love all of you, all over 1.5 million of you. It just blows my mind every time I think about it. I don't know. I'm just so grateful. I'm grateful, and you guys made it happen. You literally all gave me my dream, which was to be able to do something like this as a job. So I love you guys. You are all amazing and awesome. You in there watching this right now, thank you.
And thus concludes Deep Thoughts with Dukey. And now, another Deep Thoughts with Dukey.
I've been thinking a lot lately about accepting yourself when it comes to art and your ability, and this doesn't just necessarily mean art. It translates into any part of your life where maybe you don't feel like you're good enough or you keep comparing yourself to other people. Don't, because you know what? The people that you think that you're not good enough or you're not as good as them, there are people out there that feel the same way about you. Whatever is the best that you can do, that's really all you need, is just do your best. And don't compare yourself to other people. I'm talking to myself just as much as I'm talking to you, because I have the problem with looking on Instagram and looking on YouTube and being like, man, I'm not there. Nothing is ever going to look perfect to you. Like, no matter how long I work on a piece, it's never exactly the way I want it to be or see it in my head. It gets close, but it's not perfect. So don't beat yourself up and don't compare yourself to other people. Just know that you're awesome and amazing, and I think you're awesome, and that's all that matters. I mean, come on. Love yourself, love your art, and party on, dude.
And thus concludes another Deep Thoughts with Dukey. And now, Deep Thoughts with Dukey.
I know this video is not my typical video. That's okay, I still wanted to put it out there because I haven't talked with you guys in a long time. And the reason I haven't put a video out in so long is because I've been quitting tobacco. And I know that seems like a weird reason to not put a video out, but you know, I just could not get into the mental space I needed to be in order to make a video, especially one that was like funny or happy, because I was really depressed during the whole quitting process, and I'm still not done. It's been 2 months since I've quit, but I mean, I'm definitely over the other side of the bad part, but it's not over, not completely. Quitting tobacco was probably the hardest thing I've ever done, and I've quit heroin. I know I've not gotten too much in my past before, and I will sometime in the future, but you know, that was easier to quit than tobacco. You know what? I don't want that to be a discouragement to someone who is dipping or smoking or using tobacco that does want to quit. It's totally worth it, because I used to have anxiety over my health. You know, am I gonna get cancer in my mouth? You know, my tongue, is that bump on my tongue, is that like a cancerous thing? Worrying about that and knowing the statistics and that I probably wasn't going to live a full lifespan if I kept it up. That alone is so nice, just to know that, you know, I can expect to live an average lifespan now. I've also quit alcohol because I've had problems with it in the past as well. There's a lot about me you don't know, and I will get into it in the future, I promise. But I wanted to clarify that the beginning was not meant at all in any way to be discouraging to anyone who's going to quit. I just wanted to use it as a representation of how difficult it is to quit if you start. So don't start. If you have started, quit. It's worth it. And if you haven't, don't ever. Oh, and if you've noticed that I've added a few C's onto my thickness, that's because I've gained like 20 pounds. One of the joys of quitting. But you know what? A little bit of extra chub, it's not gonna kill you, but nicotine will. Alright, well, I think that's about all I have to say about that, and I don't know. I just love you guys. Okay.
And thus concludes Deep Thoughts with Dukey.
I think right now is a good time for a little
Deep Thoughts with Dukey.
Okay, I know I don't get super serious on my channel all the time, but there's something that's been sort of on my mind lately, and it's something I've been going through. Since everything that's been going on in the world and having to stay inside and work from home or go to school from home and, you know, not just be able to go live your life like normal, it's not been depressing, but it has been sort of zapping me of my motivation. And something that I've learned since I've started working for myself is that I have a real problem with self-discipline, like, you know, getting out of bed at a reasonable time and going to work at a reasonable time. And that's a huge part why I have such big gaps in between my videos. And one thing that has been sort of making me depressed is that I keep failing at these things over and over. So I've decided to change that, and I'm really trying to work on myself to make myself a better version of me. And the tool that I'm using right now that is helping by far more than anything else is audiobooks from Audible. And I know it's kind of a weird place to put the sponsorship, but it made sense. So today's video is sponsored by Audible, and I just really appreciate what they're doing. Most of the time when I'm listening to audiobooks, it's entertainment stuff. It's like, I love fiction, I love sci-fi and things like that. I also love information books, but now I'm using it literally to help myself and to work on myself, and it's such a great resource. By the way, check this out. Look at this crazy cool place that I'm sitting. I come down here to the creek and I chill out and I just, like, you know, think and meditate and everything. I figured it would be a cool place to bring you guys to just tell you about this. So the book that I'm listening to now, excuse the title, is Yourself by Gary John Bishop, and it is a really good book. Like, it helps me look at things in a new perspective, and I'm all about gaining knowledge. Like, I'm 38 and I still don't feel like an adult. You know, I don't adult very well, as you could probably guess by my videos. But anyways, like, hearing the wisdom and knowledge of other people that have gone through either similar things or just have figured out a way to cope and manage and improve themselves is super valuable. You don't have to choose that title. There's other ones like The Happiness Hypothesis. I haven't started it, but I've heard it's an amazing book. You know, anyone out there that's struggling like I am, I encourage you to don't give up, to keep trying to make yourself a better version of you. We should never settle on where we are right now. We should always keep striving to be better, and that's what I'm trying to do. So I love you guys. Please go check out Audible. Thank you so much to them for sponsoring the video. You know, you may be awesome, but you can always be awesome-er. All right, now let's get back to burning.
And thus concludes Deep Thoughts with Dukey. And now Deep Thoughts with Dukey.
Okay, I was depressed. I mean, really depressed for quite a while. That's why I haven't been making videos. I love making videos, but I just couldn't get the strength and also the will. Like, I had no motivation. I didn't want to, like, force myself to get in front of the camera and, like, act fun, but do it all fake. I knew you guys would pick up on that and I would feel disingenuous, so I just didn't make videos. But notice I said was depressed. I'm doing so much better, and I just want to encourage you guys that if you're going through something and if you're depressed as well, this too shall pass. But one of the things that really helped me was reaching out to friends. And I reached out to one friend in particular. His name is Mark Driggers. He's actually been in one of my videos. He was the model for the angel with wings sculpture. He's encouraged me to get back into working out and eating healthy and thinking positively. And anyways, I just want to say a huge thank you to Mark and all the time he invested in me. But also, I want to tell you guys about his channel. He actually has a YouTube channel. He just hit over 1,000 subscribers. It would mean the world to me if you guys would check it out. It's Mark Driggers Adventures. Tell him that I sent you. Go surprise him. Anyways, I just thought some of you might want to hear that. I'm going to try to get back in the swing of things. It may take me a little while to get really ramped back up, but I've got a bunch of cool projects. Anyway, so just stay tuned, and I love you guys. So let's get back to the NAF.
And thus concludes Deep Thoughts with Dukey.
Deep Thoughts with Dukey.
What's going on back there?
What?
That's the man behind the curtain. The man behind the beard.
No pictures. No pictures.